Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat. If you've been anywhere on the internet lately, you've been absolutely bombarded with these over-the-top get-rich-quick promises about artificial intelligence. You know the ones: automated cash cows, zero-effort passive income empires. The hype is honestly deafening. But what's the actual reality here? Today, in this explainer, we are cutting through the noise, we're breaking down the hard data, real-world anecdotes, and some serious academic research to figure out what's actually working and what's just a complete mirage. Let's dive in. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to take a really structured journey starting from the wild internet hype all the way up to the reality of institutional finance. We'll hit the AI money hype, the whole selling shovels concept, AI as an amplifier, where the tech completely falls short, high-stakes finance, and finally, we'll wrap up with a real actionable playbook. Section 1, the AI money hype. Let's talk about that get-rich-quick content that's just flooding our feeds right now. We've all seen those wild claims, right? The ones telling you that you can just leave your laptop open, run some AI in the background, and magically generate 10,000 rupees in 24 hours doing absolutely nothing. It sounds amazing, sure, but let's ask the question we're all actually thinking. Is anyone actually making real money with these tools? Well, if your gut is telling you to be skeptical about pushing a single button to replace an entire career, your instincts are 100% spot on. The internet community has actually captured this skepticism perfectly. There was this thread over on Reddit discussing AI wealth, and one user just absolutely nailed the current state of these gurus who are selling courses on how to use AI to, well, sell more courses. They asked, is it still a pyramid scheme if the pyramid only gets to the third level? It's hilarious, but honestly, it is an incredibly accurate observation of what's happening out there right now. Which brings us to Section 2, selling shovels. You know that old saying, right? During a gold rush, the people who get rich aren't the ones digging for gold, they're the ones selling the shovels. And man, that brilliantly illustrates the divide between the hype and the reality today. On one side, you have these passive income fantasies, but on the other side, you have experts like Adam Infroy, and his advice for making money is not passive at all. He recommends building an AI-powered B2B service agency, or maybe starting a really deep niche blog, like something focused entirely on high-end sim racing gear. It requires actual, real-world business fundamentals. The AI, it's just a speed tool layered on top. Moving on to Section 3, AI as an amplifier. The pragmatic, boots-on-the-ground reality is that AI is not an autopilot designed to replace you. Think about it like this. If you bring 0 skills to the table, AI basically multiplies that 0 by 0. But if you already have existing skills, it becomes a massive amplifier. We're seeing developers report that they're using large language models to build complex Python GUI applications in just 8 hours. That is down from 4 weeks. And data scientists? They're automating so much of their mundane, everyday coding that they're literally taking on second full-time remote jobs. They're not out there selling AI, they are using AI to radically scale their own output. This crucial shift is captured so beautifully by the development team behind the code editor Zed. As the cost of producing code drops rapidly, the barrier to entry lowers. But they issue this really important warning. Use it as a sparring partner to clarify your understanding. Please don't use an LMM to avoid having to understand the problem. That is huge. Understanding the core problem is now infinitely more valuable than the actual mechanical typing of the code. And that brings us perfectly to Section 4, where AI falls short. Look, while AI is a fantastic coding assistant, there are some severe risks when you try to use generic chatbots to replace deep, nuanced human expertise. Consider this deeply concerning statistic from CBS News. Right now, 20% of Americans are using AI chatbots for financial advice. 20%. Financial experts are desperately warning that these standard models are entirely unprepared to handle regulatory nuances, complex tax laws, and longevity risks. Simply put, they just don't know the rules. Boston University economist and retirement expert Lawrence Kotlikoff puts this very bluntly. He warns that these AI models are often just regurgitating flawed Wall Street guidance that's basically aimed at expanding assets under management. He says, and I quote, "I don't give a shit about feeling cool. I'm here to make people feel safe." And he is spot on. When we're talking about your life savings, a hallucinating chatbot can do absolute catastrophic damage. Section 5, high-stakes finance AI. So, if generic chatbots are dangerous, what actually happens when researchers build AI specifically for finance? Well, it involves incredibly complex architecture. Take Unifine LLM, for example.
It's a state-of-the-art academic framework designed specifically for institutional investors. And unlike your basic, everyday chatbot, this unified model processes numerical market time series, corporate text disclosures, macroeconomic indicators, and cross-asset relationships, all simultaneously. It's on a completely different level. And the results of that deep specialization? They're staggering. When researchers tested an older domain-specific model called LlamaFin on micro-level stock prediction, it hit a directional accuracy of 61.7%. But UniFin LLM, it pushed that accuracy up to 67.4%, all while significantly lowering the error rate. This proves that specialized AI absolutely can predict market movements, but only when it's built correctly for that exact purpose. But what's even more impressive is its macro-level capability. UniFin LLM achieved an 82.3% accuracy rate in early warning detection for systemic macroeconomic risk. I mean, it outperformed leading neural networks and traditional econometric models by a massive margin. It shows us that in the real world, the big money and the big utility in AI lie in highly specialized, highly integrated models, not in generic text generators. Finally, Section 6, the real AI playbook. Let's bring all this complex information back down to earth for a second. How do everyday users like us actually cut through the YouTube hype? Well, Global Oak Media laid out a brilliant summary of why people fail to make money with AI. The main blockers? Constantly chasing new tools, having no clear problem to solve, trying to replace yourself entirely, and chasing massive global wins without even proving you can make $10 locally. But the absolute biggest trap of all? Learning without shipping. We sit there and watch endless tutorials, but we never actually put a product out into the market. So here is your actual, actionable roadmap to success. Step 1. Stop chasing every single new AI tool that drops online. Pick a few and actually master them. Step 2. Define a clear, specific problem that real people actually need solved. And Step 3. Ship imperfect work. Seriously, AI rewards speed to the market, not perfection hidden away in your private folders. As the saying goes, if your first release isn't a little bit embarrassing, you waited too long. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take away from this explainer today. Are you using AI to replace yourself or to amplify yourself? Remember, AI doesn't just magically create a business out of thin air, and it absolutely doesn't replace the need for clear judgment and execution. It simply amplifies who you already are. If you have a clear goal, it accelerates you. But if you're confused, it just amplifies your confusion. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I will catch you in the next one.